right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Wednesday, August 28th, and the Yankees were in the nation's capital for Game 3 of a series between the Yankees and the Nationals. Carlos Rodon on the mound trying to pick up career best win number 15. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Welcome to the New York City.
Pinstripe Territory.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yikes.
Brutal.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to Terrence. Terrence, I'm digging the new background, my friend. How you doing?
Good, and yeah, finally, right? I'm sorry, guys. I had a pretty bland background. I was getting settled in a new apartment. I finally got some furniture. Finally got to it. Got some cool stuff back here. Kind of a little bit of a collection of my life. Yankee hat, obviously. The Brooklyn Dodger hat. Oop, there it is. For those of you wondering, my grandfather was a huge Brooklyn Dodger fan, and now he was a Met fan because they left. Thank God my father broke the cycle, though, and made me a Yankee fan, so God bless for that. And, yeah, I'm digging it. And that's Steven the Shark up there.
Steven the Shark. Well, I've got a fun stat for you, TK. This is a stat that kind of explains what happened in this series. The Yankees went 1 for 28 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 7 on Monday, 0 for 8 on Tuesday, and then 1 for 13 Wednesday. That is brutal. And look, I am not much of a gamer. I don't, play a lot of video games, maybe, a couple of times per week when my schedule allows. But on nights like tonight, I like to fire up Call of Duty because my mood calls for blowing shit up with grenades. How do you put that piss poor of an effort forward against a team like the Washington Nationals?
Just stay within the video game theme here. I'm the kind of person where I'll load up MLB The Show, Yankees Nationals, and I'll turn the sliders all the way up. And then it'll be 100 to 0, like Yankees Nationals. That meme where the guy's breathing super. It's that. That's what's going on. But yeah, losing 2 out of 3 against the Nationals when you're in a heated division battle with the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, absolutely inexcusable. I think they won their game against the Dodgers as well. It just sucks. You can't lose games like that. This was what did I say before? You're supposed to get fat. We were playing the lowly Nationals, the lowly Colorado Rockies in back-to-back series. It's just inexcusable, and it's very clear to me that the division title is going to come down to the last series, Yankees-Baltimore in the Bronx.
What I'm seeing here is the Orioles and Dodgers have not played yet today.
Last night.
Oh, last night, yeah. So, yeah. Tonight, the Orioles have Corbin Burns going, by the way. And the Nationals have Walker Buehler going, who has a have a 6.09 ERA for Walker Buehler. So, not looking too good for the Yankees' AL East lead. Carlos Rodon was terrible tonight. He is incredibly frustrating to watch. Tonight in the first inning, homer, single, wild pitch, steal, walk, and a balk. It's like he was going for all the worst possible things that can happen to a pitcher. If he didn't, get ejected, all he needed to do was get ejected, fight a fan, flip off, you flip the bird. Those are the only things left on his punch card to make it the worst possible night. Nats were hitting him hard. How does he respond? By not checking any runners, not varying his times to the plate, no slide steps, and they were just running all over him. 5 stolen bases in the first 2 innings. Not Austin Wells' fault. That was Carlos Rodon's fault 100%, taking an hour and a half to get the baseball to home plate. And on the rare occasion that the ball actually reached the catcher's mitt and wasn't ripped in the gap or something, the runner was already 80% of the way to the next base. 100 pitches in 5 2/3 innings for Carlos Rodon tonight. Again, inefficient and wholly unreliable.
Yeah, it's just brutal to watch. So far, the signing hasn't looked ideal, to say the least. I still think it's way too early in the contract to start calling him a bust. But so far, not looking great. Just having last year included, where he basically just didn't play, and he was a non-factor. But tonight his stuff looks kind of flat. The command was an enormous issue. obviously. And I think, Derek, you made a great point. He's the Stanton of pitchers. He's either awful or unbelievable. There's no in between whatsoever. Now, losing a game like this really stings, but you just really, and it really almost makes me throw up in my mouth to say this because it's scary, but like you got to hope that he's Carlos Rodon with the San Francisco Giants in October. Because if he's Carlos Rodon like he was with the Giants and a couple of years in the White Sox in October, no one's going to care. No one's going to care.
Well,
because that's what you make stripes in Yankees in Yankee land.
Hope is not much of a strategy, and he has not inspired a lot of confidence in me. Bullpen wasn't bad tonight. Yeah, but yeah, I hear you. That's all we have at this point. So we do have the Cardinals coming up next, beginning on a series Friday. What are you looking forward to from the St. Louis Cardinals, who are kind of disappointing this year?
Yeah, I mean, they're only about, 65 and 67, so right around 500. They're about, 10.5. I got the standings right here, but, yeah, they're about 10.5 games back behind their division. And they're 7 games back in the wild card. So they're I guess they could go on a run and try to make a playoff push, but it doesn't look very likely. They don't have a lot to play for. I mean, their best offensive player is Mason Wynn. He's hitting .284 on the season. And their Alec Burleson is leading them in home runs with 21. So, I mean, it's really a weak offensive team. Mason Wynn's got an absolute cannon for an arm, though. Absolute rocket.
How's Arenado looking this year?
Arenado, he looks old, kind of looks washed, honestly. I can pull up his stats pretty much quickly. But I was going to say their best pitcher is Miles Mikolas with a 5.23 ERA. And that's the guy leading the team in ERA. So, I mean, it's really not a team that's that impressive at the moment. And as far as Nolan Arenado, I mean, yeah, he's 33 years old. Goldschmidt's 36. They're really a pretty weak team right now.
What about Eric Fedde? Eric Fedde's pitching Friday night. He's got a 3.31 ERA.
Yeah, Erik, I don't even think he qualifies. That's why Mikolas is leading the team.
So he got traded from the White Sox where he was 7-4 with a 3.11, and now he's 1-3 with a 4.23 since coming to St. Louis. So he's pitching Friday night.
That's not really a needle mover for me. He's 31 years old. He's having a pretty good year, but I mean, there isn't really anybody on the Cardinals that scares me. The only, funny enough, the only guy that I guess kind of scares me because of the meme factor is Sonny Gray, just because former Yankees like to kill the Yankees, for that reason. So that's it.
So all right, let's talk a little bit about Carlos Rodon. This is a subject that I want to get to. I don't normally rip the commenters here, but we had a particularly bad one last night. Look, as the provider of this podcast, first NYY Recaps for 5 years, now Pinstripe Territory for the last 16 days. And by the way, we're over 10,000 downloads on audio since we joined 10 days ago. So we're moving up the charts. So go ahead and follow on all your favorite podcast platforms. But anyway, I've seen my share of bad comments, of bad takes, but this one is an all-timer. This one so much it deserves its own segment. Now, Juan Soto had a pretty bad series.
All right, here we go.
He had a pretty bad series. But, sometimes that causes commenters to get into their feelings a little bit. So shout out to Wayne Patrick here for an all-time bad comment. He says, and by the way, he replied to his own comment twice. He says, Soto is not a Yankee, space before the comma there. He is, period, a mercenary, only cares about money, doesn't care about team play. He goes on to say, let him go, period. And then he says, a world of talent, but his attitude sucks. Terrence, if you'll allow me to hold the floor for a moment, I've got a little bit of a rant about this. Look, I have a few things to say. First of all, I don't want to be too hard on Wayne. He's not alone. A lot of people leave comments like this, and he was obviously drinking. A good friend of mine once told me, if you ever see someone say something really, really strange or do something really, really strange, just add 5 words and it'll all make sense. Because they were fucked up. So that's number 1. Number 2, Juan Soto's attitude has been exemplary. Exemplary, not good, exemplary. He does nothing but smile and play hard. He plays hurt, he runs into walls, he dives for balls. He hustles. He does everything that you want a player to do. You don't hear about him partying all night at clubs or see him in Central Park with his mistress. Look, he's not posing in the mirror, kissing himself like A-Rod. The guy works his tail off, and we should be honored for the privilege of watching this guy playing pinstripes this year. If it's just 1 year, that's how it goes. But we should be honored because this guy has given us a lot. Third, I want to address the mercenary portion of that comment. You realize that he's been traded from team to team, right? It's not like he's signing 1-year deals as a free agent. And that brings me to my next point. He has every right to not commit to us as a free agent and hurt his negotiating power. Every right. He also owes us nothing except for his best effort on the field, and he gives us that. So imagine Wayne, if you will, that coming out of high school, you get a job, presumably as a paperclip bender, and you were forced to, bend paper clips in a city that you did not choose for the first 6 years of your career and of your professional life. Now let's assume that you're one of the best paperclip benders in the world, which I'm sure you are. At some point, you're going to want to pick the city in which you live and bend your paper clips, and you're going to want to be paid at market value. That is not being a mercenary. That is being an American. That is being an American. I wish I had my sound effect here. Wait, I think I've got it. I'll find it. But that's capitalism. That is the system that we live in and that we have all chosen, and he is just doing what we all do.
This is America, Jack.
So, Wayne, all-time bad comment, no bad attitude. The guy has a great attitude, and yeah, he wants to get paid for being one of the best players, best offensive players in the game. TK, any thoughts? I need a break.
That was an all-time rant. That's freedom, Derek, right there. That's freedom. The ability to choose where you want to play baseball. Also, real quick, Sonny Gray not pitching this weekend. Thank you to CM for that. So we won't be facing him with these games from the Yankees story. But yeah, man, come on, man, come back to me, Wayne. This guy, we're watching. Judge and Soto is a Ruth and Gehrig-esque, Maris and Mantle-esque sort of thing. That would be like the biggest thing I'd be telling the Yankees on why you need to bring Juan Soto back. Is like you're literally having a Ruth and Mantle, a modern day version of that. This could be the next, like the third generation. It's Ruth and Mantle and Ruth and Gehrig and Maris and Mantle are like the two that we have. And then you could argue there's like some of the 90s ones, but I mean, it's more the core four. I'm talking about a Yankee duo. Judge and Soto is that third generation right there for where we are in modern times now. So you have to consider that. Low key, Washington Nationals might be a dark horse to sign him. They're on the come up. He loved being there. Dude, wait, just hear me out. If they decide to bring their prince home, I really hope they don't. They do have a lot of young talent coming up. They don't have a lot of big contract. That Patrick Corbin contract is hilariously bad, though. And thank God
so bad.
Oh my God!
Everybody wanted him. It's so funny.
I know.
You wanted him. Admit it. You wanted to sign him.
I wanted him, but not at the price that he ended up signing at.
True. Fair enough. Yeah. I agree with you there.
I was fine. I wanted Manny Machado though, like desperately.
Yeah. I wanted Bryce Harper. Like I would have sold my soul for Bryce Harper.
I wanted Bryce Harper very badly, but they went with Stanton, and that's what we ended up going with. But like, look, this is the now, right? With Juan Soto, I truly believe it's going to be Yankees Mets competing and outbidding each other, and that's basically that's what's been reported. But that'll be the two teams that are in contention for him. Seriously, I think we talked about a contract. I think $50 million a year for 12 years. I would maybe go 13. But I think at 13 for $650 million, you're like, Juan, do you want to be a Yankee or not?
I'd be interested to see how he ages, but yeah, we'll see. Quick word from our sponsor tonight, then we're on to the recap.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too. The longest part of the process is the time spent on hold waiting to break up with your old provider.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. There you see that right now, all 3-month plans are only $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
You know, since we started running the ads before the recap, on nights where the Yankees play like shit and they lose badly, I notice we lose about 30% of viewers, like, right? So, guys, please stick around and watch the ad. It helps us, and I promise that there is more fun conversation to come after the ad. So stick through it for us. Look, Nationals wasted no time tonight against Carlos Rodon. Leadoff home run by Dylan Cruz, first of his career. First inning, as I mentioned, homer, single, wild pitch, steal, walk, balk. Only thing he didn't do was get arrested. I mean, it was just a bad first inning. Top two, Yankees got on the board for with a home run from Jazz Chisholm, his 9th home run in 20 games as a Yankee. TK, you were right on the money. This guy has been a fantastic addition to the Yankees.
Yeah, I'd like to pat myself on the back for that one. The reason, look, I kind of cheated. I lived in Miami one summer, and I went to a couple Marlins games, and I got to watch this guy play up close. And this is when he was still playing the infield. He wasn't in the outfield yet, but immediately I was like, this guy's a gamer. Like, the athleticism just jumps off the page. He moves super well. His swing is a bit long. We've talked about that, but he's just smooth, man. Like, smooth like Jazz. That's why his name is Jazz. But I have been super happy with everything that I've seen. I think long-term, so he's under contract for 2 more years after this one. I think long-term, the spot for him is probably going to be second base because we will not be bringing back Gleyber Torres, and Jazz's contract is cheaper. And then I don't know what they would do at third. That opens a spot there. But honestly, for a guy who's never played third base in the major leagues, I know he made 2 errors that one night. He's made a couple sparklers in the field. So, and obviously his bat's been great. And athleticism and youth, really, and a little bit of swag, if you will, is something that this team definitely needed, and he's injected that. And honestly, I just feel it. He's going to have a huge moment in October. He'll have his Yankee signature moment in October, something huge, some like hustle play or something, stealing home, something crazy like that. And
stealing home. Can you imagine him stealing home in a big – oh, man, that would be amazing. I'm getting chills just thinking about that. So CM says, can we get Deadpool to go back in time and stop the Stanton trade so that we have Soto, Judge, and Harper in the middle of the order? That would be wild. But anyway, more trouble for Rodon in the second. Nationals were running all over him. 2 more runs allowed. It was an early 4-1 hole. Look, all we know is that there is a lot of theft in Washington, but 5 stolen bases tonight, that's a little rough. That's a little much. Top 4, Austin Wells got hit by a pitch, and Jazz Chisholm ripped a base hit up the middle. But, of course, DJ LeMahieu bounced into another double play. DJ had a very bad night. He continues to have bad night after bad night. He was 1 for 3, so his average went up to 202, but still a 526 OPS. Not looking good for DJ. The guy looks finished offensively. What are your thoughts?
He looks so washed, and I'm looking up the Yankees payroll right now because I want to have his contract right in front of me. By the way, this is Patrick Corbin's last year of his deal, so $35 million off the books for them. But yeah, he's currently on a 6-year, $90 million deal, and he becomes a free agent in 2027. So he's got 2 more years at $15 million after this. I know that when he entered free agency, everybody wanted to re-sign him, including myself. I mean, he had an unbelievable 2 seasons with the Yankees. And then he came to the front office and he said, I want $90 million. And they were like, okay, we'll give it to you over 6 years to spread the average annual value over to make it 15 a year rather than more. And I understand the logic there, but I remember when they signed it, I was like, it's 1 year too long. It's just 1 year too long.
Yeah.
And it's clearly 2 years too long at this point, but he just wasn't a player that I thought was going to age gracefully. Maybe I had a little hope because he's more of a contact guy, but he just looks slow, man. He just looks, to me, he's like you can't play him at second anymore, which was his natural position. So now he's a corner infielder, mostly a first baseman. I don't even think you really put him at third now. So he's basically a first baseman. You're going to have Rizzo coming off the books, but you have a one-dimensional player who can't hit what his contract worth is. It's just an ugly contract. It really is. And the Yankees, I think, got to swallow hard with the Soto thing and just be like, okay, we'll have 15 mil off the books in 2 years. We'll have Stanton off the books. They have an option in 2028. So that's 3 more years there. So you got to think long term with them, and just you're gonna have to bite the bullet for the first 3 years of the payroll, of the team payroll.
Yeah, it seems like there's always bad contracts on the book, right? We were waiting for Jacoby Ellsbury and A-Rod and Teixeira and all
Aaron
these
Hicks.
contracts. Aaron Hicks, we're still paying him. I feel like there's just always. I mean, that's just the marker of a bad general manager who, I guess the fans, demand to some extent, some of these contracts, right? But, giving out Aaron Hicks a contract was a mistake. I feel like the fans wanted DJ back, and so I can't blame Cashman for doing that, but he recognized that, at least, we kept the AAV down, so maybe if you release him, it doesn't kill you on the books, but I think his time is coming, man. I think a DFA is coming. Mellow Yellow says, Soto and Judge don't have a supporting cast. Well, I would argue that Jazz has been a nice addition. I think we're going to have the Martian here on Sunday. Verdugo had another hit tonight, but he's still hitting .234. He has been swinging the bat better since he switched to batting gloves that don't, make him break out in hives or whatever. But tough night for the Yankees. They fall 5-2.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. If you ain't first, you're last.
All right, TK. I think we should go ahead and wrap this one up because I feel like nobody's in the mood to relive this one anymore. We'll get to some final thoughts here.
I mean, I will say, though, all of us, it couldn't turn around very quickly. Austin Wells, obviously, he's hit a lot better than he was in the first half of the season. If he turns into something, I think the Martian is going to be an absolute stud if you want to bat him clean up behind Judge. Imagine what if Dominguez, we end up re-signing Soto and Dominguez turns out what we think he's going to be, and then you have Soto, Judge, Dominguez.
It's going to be wild.
Lethal right there. And then I'd probably go Wells in the 5-hole like that. I mean, that would be a nice supporting cast. And that can change. And with Jazz, too, in the mix, that can change very quickly. It's just guys have to play to the back of their baseball cards. And, yes, there are miscalculations from the front office and giving out some bad contracts. But what they're going to have to hope for is that these young guys coming up, Dominguez, Jones, Vivas, Lombard Jr., like these guys got to come up and they got to play well. That's bottom line. That's what's got to happen. You look at Dylan Cruz lighting it up. Paul Skeens was a can't miss. Like he was just going to be great no matter what. A Dylan Cruz playing well, Bobby Witt Jr. coming up, lighting it up. You're going to have a phenom like that. So I'm hoping the Martian is going to be that. That's what I think. I think Jones could be that too, but that's all they're going to need to, because you have to have young players to massage the payroll to have cheaper contracts like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Next voicemail show we do will be on Friday morning. I have a hellaciously busy day tomorrow, so call in all day tomorrow, and we will hash everything out on Friday morning before the Cardinals series. Remember to check out Mint Mobile if you want a good cell phone service that doesn't sacrifice quality and is affordable. You got Mint? You got Mint?
No, I don't. With that.
Oh, my brother has. That's a good. You're definitely an actor for sure. My brother has Mint, and he says it works great. So anyway, appreciate it, everybody. Like and subscribe, all that stuff, and we will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.